The Indiana Fever officially announced Kelsey Plum's signing. The Indiana Fever following a significant acquisition. Yes, you did read it correctly. Following Sudus Sabali's departure from the Dallas Wings to join the Indiana Fever, Kelsey Plum made the best decision of her career. It appears like the entire WNBA is having a collective life choices moment. So what's happening in their locker room? Everyone wants to play with Caitlin CLK, therefore this coach is not one I would want to play for. Since the Aces squad is disintegrating, we don't have it every year. It's not the way this works. You don't get to flick a switch. The great thing is that players aren't just chasing victories anymore, they're seeking glory. With Clark, if you have eyes you can see who's going to dominate the 2025 season. Regarding sports, actually the work, dedication, buy-in, hard work, desire, and will always pay off, which is why Plum chose to sign with Indiana. Let's face it, Plum is not your typical player. She is a 3-time All-Star, a 2-time WNBA champion, and a certified game changer, with Clark and Sabali forming a formidable trio. About to turn the league upside down, sis. But the 2-time defending champions, who looked exactly like Kai Plum, extended her hand for Clark to shake, and Clark, who was playing low, simply retreated. Sure, Caitlin doesn't require backup, but when you have players like Angel Reese, A.I.A. Wilson and Chindy Carter fighting for you, it helps to have reliable allies. We must improve. Really take a close look at ourselves, see our flaws in the mirror, and then you know you need to take the necessary steps to produce the best product possible. It's likely that the same group won't be there next year, which I'm sad about because I really like that group, but they're a pain in the ass. My ass, but I also caused them a lot of trouble with an average of 178 points per game in 2024 and the ability to make defenses look like amateurs. Plum, the backbone of the Las Vegas Aces, a team that has been enjoying championship glory because of her, is now at the heart of trade rumors. Leaving Vegas for Indiana, we talked a lot of shit last year and I'm sure they heard it. They got to whack us this year, so for us, we'll be away from Indiana for a while. That's not just a trade, it's a change in power relations. Fever has been quietly and occasionally noisily putting together a lineup that shouts future dynasty. They are not just some random team hoping to strike it fortunate. If Plum joins the team, it would be like pouring rocket fuel to an already burning fire. Picture Caitlin Clark, the rookie star, is leading the charge and is already playing like she rules the league. While this move could elevate the Fever to serious contenders, let's not sugarcoat it. Plum and Clark in the same backcourt, defenders would have nightmares. Wreak havoc on the Aces. Although Vegas still has talent, losing Plum would be like tearing down a skyscraper. Her success with that reminds me of many people like you say you're not really about me. She knows how her privilege has brought her to this point and she's good at basketball, but she also seems to understand. Before you start wondering, did the Aces not lock Plum down with that shiny $249-250 Supermax contract? Yes, they did designate her as a core player and everything, which sounds solid and final until you remember how the WNBA works. Contracts in this league are less lucrative. Her privilege is exactly what pushes her over the top, and it reminds me a lot of yo. Similar to handcuffs and more akin to loose rules, a sign and trade deal might occur more quickly than Plum's sinks of three, and believe me when I say that if the Fever is raging, Vegas will have to carefully consider whether keeping Plum would be worth surrendering their flexibility in the future. You think the AC front staff is getting enough sleep these days? They used to rule the league and win. The team that failed to live up to expectations this year is the Golden State Valkyries, the NBA's shiny new expansion team, who are essentially shouting, "Hey Kelsey, remember your California roots," and back-to-back championships. The team is literally having teams craft their roster in order to beat the Aces. The interesting twist is that their head coach Natalie Nakas, who coached Plum in Vegas, is making connections, and a return to California doesn't seem all that far off. The Valkyries are like that new kid at school who knows everyone and always has the newest stuff. However, the problem is that Caitlin Clark's Fever may be tempted by the Valkyries, and she may be going crazy. Indiana's popularity makes it juicy. Chicago, as we just mentioned, has Tyler Marsh as their head coach. He was also an assistant for the Las Vegas Aces, so that has led to a lot of back and forth because they have had 2 assistant coaches leave. According to statistics, Natalie Nas is now the head coach of the Valkyrie. Plum is a monster. Teams are circling like sharks after her 368 shooting from beyond the arc last season. But let's talk about that playoff game against the Liberty where she shot 6 points and 2 assists. That kind of performance makes you wonder if it was just a bad day or if Plum is desperate for a change of scenery to return to her best. Since Plum is a proven winner and any team that signs her is immediately in the championship conversation, it seemed as though A'ja Wilson was downplaying the achievements of players like Kelsey Plum and Paige Bueckers. It also felt like she was giving Kelsey Plum a backhanded compliment, which many fans found offensive. WNBA supporters Fans of Kelsey Plum in general had a terrible time with this video and it left them feeling sour. Now let's focus on the Fever because their circumstances are equally spicy. Since 2018 Kelsey Mitchell has been a mainstay for Indiana and her 2024 campaign was a chef's kiss. She shot over 40 from three-point range and averaged 19.2 points per game. She has been devastated to lose her. Fever didn't hesitate to lock her in with a $618,000 extension, indicating that she is our franchise player. However, what happens if Plum steps in? Will Mitchell take a back seat? Will they share the spotlight, or will the team continue to thrive under her leadership and mentoring of younger players like Caitlin Clark collapse under the weight of too many celebrities? It's like trying to fit two queens on one throne. It's messy, but it's incredibly entertaining to watch. Speaking of records, Clark shattered them like they were made of glass, rewriting the WNBA single-season assist record with a staggering 337 dimes, shattering a record that hadn't been broken since 1998. Oh, and what about being the first rookie in league history to record 2 triple-doubles? Yes, she did that as well. She's not just playing, she's redefining what a rookie season can accomplish. But the best part is that her influence extends beyond the individual honors. The Fever hadn't sniffed the playoffs since 2016, but with Clark in charge, everyone around her felt better. Punch their ticket, which is how generational talent appears. She not only shines but also brightens the team as a whole. But this is where things become interesting. The entire league has been furious for the past 8 months. My players are in advertisements and the Fever is rising while the Las Vegas Aces are collapsing like a sandcastle during high tide. In addition to being incredibly famous, you become sidetracked once the NBA's undisputed powerhouse, the Aces, loses to the New York Liberty in the playoffs. Their offensive rating plummeted by almost 7 points, and the off-court drama is even worse. General manager Natalie Williams and her assistants have left the team. The Las Vegas Aces have fired general manager Natalie Williams, and while A.A. Wilson is trying to keep things together, players like Tiffany Hayes are reportedly questioning the team's culture and direction. The dynasty vibes are long gone, and coach Becky Hammond is frantically trying to patch things up despite back-to-back championships and a deep playoff run this season.